Welcome back to the second half of Weaponized News with your hosts, Stuart Webb and Sam Cheney. And now, back to the show.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Stuart Webb, along with my co-host, Sam Cheney. This is Weaponized News of weaponizednews.com. Please visit our website. We're writing articles every day, and we're only looking to grow. We're going to get some more guest writers. We really appreciate those guys and people that have participated. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. We're on CMAC, or what was it, cable channel 99, Comcast channel 99, UVerse 93. We're
6
on
to 7 p.m. every
night. You guys
night.
said that perfectly synced.
I know. Hey, we're broadcasting a lot of places, a lot of different platforms, and we're only looking to grow, spread the message of liberty, and we're trying to bring you real analysis, real issues. We're going to talk about real issues and have real opinions, not teleprompter filled news and simple-minded one-sided viewpoints. We're giving you our whole take on what's going on, and we know what's going on, and I think you do too. So let's try to get over the propaganda that we've been just fed our entire lives and the conditioning that we've been living under. Let's get past that and try to figure out how to fix this country and just fix society in general. Fix ourselves first, and then we can make changes. So it starts with yourself, okay? Wake up to what's going on. Change yourself. You can't just elect Rand Paul and hope he gets it done for you. Sorry, or
Jeb Bush.
Well, Jeb Bush might though, because
he might save us.
He is a Bush, and that's royalty, right? I mean, Bush can do no wrong. If he starts a war on bathtubs because we have too many people drowning on bathtubs,
we have to back that.
We have to support the bathtub police or the militarization of the bathtub police.
Even though you hear support the troops and you hear every veteran that comes back is against these wars, but keep being a mindless zombie and support these illegal foreign wars of aggression. And
we had Joe Biggs of Infowars.com on our first hour. He's a decorated combat veteran from Iraq, okay, and he is fighting tyranny right now. He's coming back, exposing the war on terror, exposing what's going on all day, every day, and we really appreciate him and the InfoWars crew. And so, veterans, let's think critically and believe me, Sam and I, we admire you a ton. Your bravery and the willingness to fight for your country, being willing to put yourself in the line of fire and die for this country. But we're trying to just explain to people that it's not for the benefit of us, not for Americans, and the enemy is being ran by the major banks, the global banks, the IMF.
That is the true enemy.
Fed. Yeah, and they are pumping the new money in. That's how all these things are getting financed. And also welfare for dictators. That's not okay, folks. That is welfare. So if you're conservative, you can't be for just giving Israel $225 million. And Ron Paul talks about this a lot in his books about our foreign policy and how we've been funding the Middle East. We've been funding both sides of conflicts for decades. We haven't declared war since World War II. And war, you know what? I know it's awful. It's terrible, and it pains me to see even war movies. It's so awful. I don't want any of my brothers and sisters going into war. So we're going to speak out against it because we know it doesn't benefit us. We don't have stock in the military-industrial complex. None of it benefits us. And here's another real quick point I'm going to make. If it's like Adam Kokesh said in his book, if we're starting to humanize everyone globally, I actually, in school, I have a reading partner I have to talk with. He's learning English. He lives in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
You don't want to kill him?
I don't want to kill him. I'm sorry. Even if the government said Rio de Janeiro's bad, Brazil's bad.
A scary sounding place.
You're right. Yeah. We can see. Everyone's being humanized now, and so it's harder for the establishment to go to war, to tell us we need to go bomb Syria for no reason. We need to go start wars in all these countries, knowing that it's going to kill people. It's because people talk to these. We see them face to face. It's not. They can't make us think that there's some scary people that hates America that wants to kill us every day.
These people even have a Second Amendment.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they're no threat to us. We have two oceans in front of us, but yet we leave the borders wide open. It's the hypocrisy of our government, left and right, folks. Yes, we know there are some good people.
The whole government. The
entire
establishment.
thing. The establishment. The bureaucracies who basically write laws now by fiat. I mean, it's just they give the power. Congress gives power to the massive bureaucracy.
We have to file 5 million laws or whatever they say, but they are above it all and just do whatever the hell they want. Total hypocrisy, lies, corruption, total evil.
John Boehner's making money off the healthcare industry. And we all have to buy it.
He's conservative, though.
Yeah, but he's the Speaker of the House, and he's Republicans, and he's got a nice tan, so we're going to be okay with it. And he's non-threatening. He does kind of say that, he's not friends with Obama, even though they golf together and they laugh together, and he kisses Nancy Pelosi every once in a while. But, folks, we're going to get into some news, trying to get through it all. There's a ton going on, but we'd just support alternative media. Drudge Report, Zero Hedge is great, Global Research, WND, Infowars.com, and weaponizednews.com. Go to weaponizednews.com. We are growing fast, and we're looking to continue to grow and fight tyranny. So, and we're honest people. So, regardless of what you think about our opinions, we are honest. And the establishment is lying to you. Your politicians, your congressman, Devin Nunes. Do you really think Devin Nunes is telling us the truth, Sam?
He's a lying piece of garbage.
There we go. So, but Sam and I, we actually tell you the truth. So I might as well run. And I mean, at least I would vote against everything, even if it was something that I might even be for. I'm just completely against anything new. Congress needs to just
Nunes is for the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is further enslavement. Further economic enslavement, and he's a total globalist. He backs one world government. And so do you want one world government? Because that's what your Congressman Devin Nunes supports.
The big corporations are financing all these politicians. They're multinational. That's why they're for all these these trade partnerships, saying they're just
secret
trying to
trade partnerships
that we can't look at. Yeah, of course, the public can't look at it. We're just going to unilaterally
just
pass
trust
it.
him because he wrote about Thomas Jefferson in the first couple pages of his book, I guess.
That's
and
true.
He talks tough on the big radio channels here.
And he's a Tea Partier, right?
The Tea Party doesn't really like him so much.
Well,
they've finally woken up to the fact that this guy is establishment hack.
Absolutely. We are definitely happy about that. But let's get into some news. I know we got a lot to cover. Sorry, we're kind of rambling, but this is what we do on the show, as you know. And if you don't like it, well,
it needs to be said.
Listen to Fox News. And it needs to be. It needs to be said.
It needs to be said.
Absolutely.
Stuart, according to a Pew Research study, Americans' top priorities for 2015 are terrorism, which rated at 67%. We already went over in the first half of the show out. All those stats are bogus, okay? So this is a perfect illustration of the propaganda and fear-based mind control that the mainstream media is shoving down our throat. That's Americans' number one concern is terrorism, when you are more likely to die of a football-related death than an actual terrorist attack, okay? And so it's utterly ridiculous that it rates that high as priority for Americans.
That's what they want us to believe. That's why there's so much coverage on this Paris attack. It was huge news, but people can't even afford to eat hardly anymore without government assistance. And even then, that's still lacking. They don't have enough money from government assistance to eat. But we're worrying about a couple guys blowing stuff up in another country or maybe shooting some people. Shootings happen all the time. Police officers shoot people all the time. It's no big deal. But no, since it's scary and they have ninja outfits and they wear terrorist masks, like from that video game, the computer game Counter-Strike, yes, every terrorists are going to take over the world and blow stuff up. And that is going to happen most likely. But the thing is,
but Stuart, how are they getting funding for this?
Well, I guess they're using American. I guess they're driving Ford F-150s. So they're obviously getting
and Toyotas too.
Yeah. So they're obviously.
And in Benghazi was the arms smuggling operation.
Yeah.
Where the United
10,000 missiles went missing, right?
Where the United States CIA went ahead and armed Al Qaeda, ISIS, whatever you want to call them, Islamic jihadi extremists.
Yeah.
And so our own government on record gave them the weapons that they're using in these terrorist attacks.
Remember the rebels in Syria that what John McCain said we absolutely had to back. They were 65%, and that's being really
conservative.
They were ISIS and Al Qaeda. Okay, And the military came out and said, no, we're not going to be Al-Qaeda's Air Force. We're not going to side with Al-Qaeda. See, they don't care. The globalists will just, remember, they created Al-Qaeda in the 70s,
They
late
did.
70s.
It's actually the name of a CIA database for terrorists is what Al-Qaeda actually means.
Wow. So, and we know Osama bin Laden was a CIA asset. Saddam Hussein met with CIA directors and was funded through CIA to fight the Iranians in the 80s. That's declassified.
And so was Mubarak from Egypt and
when Gaddafi. When they don't play ball.
And then what's the guy named from Panama?
Noriega.
Noriega.
Noriega. There we go.
I mean, all these guys are set up by our government to be tyrannical dictators so we can go in there and rape and pillage the people of those countries. I mean, it's disgusting.
And the corporations come in and pay for the politicians with American money.
Yeah.
And then they let them set up their corporations there. And then the economy just completely is under the control. It's a monopoly, basically. And the people start to get mad and have revolutions and uprising.
Yeah.
And the politicians, they just get rid of that politician. They get rid of that president, that dictator.
Well, now
and they put in a new faction.
Well, they're rolling out the one world government, so that's why you see we live in an age of crises, and that's why you see all these dictators being overthrown by our own government, the ones that put them. Because, it doesn't really make sense. Okay, we put a guy in, he's doing what we want. Why do they go overthrow him? Because he's not playing ball with one world government agenda. That's why.
Yeah, he might like the money at first, but he's not going to say, okay, now, the UN can come in and just be our military force. No, they're not going to sell out their country that far, even though they're still scumbags, these dictators. But when they stop playing ball, that's when they get assassinated. And these people, the populations, they need to start actually arming themselves, being politically active, and have their own little revolutions and their little, just like the American Revolution. They need to have their own Bill of Rights that they come up with and make sure that the state can't take away their God-given rights. And this needs to happen all over the world if we want to get out of this, because they are setting up one world government. Sorry, it's not all Obama's fault. When I hear people talk, when I try to say, hey,
it's not even all our whole federal government's fault, even though they're the major tyranny in this country.
Yeah.
It's a global government central banking cartel.
The Bushes have been advocating the UN resolutions. When the first Bush was in, he said, "Oh, we need to abide by the UN resolution, or I have the authority under the UN resolution." No, we don't have. The UN has no authority anywhere, and if they lose credibility, it doesn't even have a country. It's a bureaucratic global government archetype that has no authority anywhere, especially in the U.S. Does not have any authority. So we shouldn't be looking to the UN for any kind of government. Advice or legislative advice. Sorry, they're not who I elected. But either way, when we talk to the mainline Republicans, conservatives, even Democrats, when we try to say, hey, look, this is bigger than Obama, he's not just letting the people come across the border because he's a loving liberal socialist that has an incorrect ideology. No, he is a hardcore authoritarian that wants to see this country fall and turned into the North American Union. He's playing ball with the Bilderbergers. He went to the meetings, and yes, they don't control the world, the Bilderbergers and all these elite people that run things. They don't control the world completely.
But they're setting policy.
They are setting policy that will bring in eventually their plan, whether we like it or not. They're trying to get rid of cash. Anything we do, like arming ourselves. I mean, I have the Second Amendment. I can walk down the street and with a gun in my holster on my side, no matter what anyone says. Now the government might want to say that's illegal and throw me in jail, but it's not. I have the right to defend myself. God gave me those rights. So we need to start politically saying, look, this is what the agenda is. They're setting policy, like Sam said, these elites. We need to start exposing them and say, no, we're not going along, and we're going to continue buying guns and exercising our rights and being peaceful so that when they try to come and take our guns or create crisis, we'll know who the enemy is and who started this whole thing. We know who started it, okay? And that's all we're trying to do. It's not a left-right thing. It's not because Obama's a socialist that the borders are wide open. Congress is consenting. Your government is consenting. Your local officials are consenting. Our mayor here in Fresno, She just loves Obama.
She's a globalist.
Yeah, she won't. I mean, how often do you see your local politicians call out the president? I don't hear them hardly ever. And I don't hear that many.
How often do you hear them stand up for the Bill of Rights and Constitution? Never.
Yeah, never. Because the government decides when you have your rights. Remember, not God, not yourself. Remember, you own yourself, okay? You own yourself. No one can take that away from you.
Just go watch Sniper, wave the flag, and shut the hell up.
And, I may see Sniper. I kind of want to go. I'm sure it's an awesome, well-made movie, just like all the other ones. Awesome movie. A movie, though. We need to realize Hollywood movie. We do not need to leave saying, man, that Chris Kyle guy, man, it just and the
people
war,
are posting online. Yeah, I want to. This movie.
I want to kill Arabs.
I want to go kill some Arabs.
I was reading that in the New York Daily News. Oh yeah, even a Muslim was saying, oh yeah, I after this movie, yeah, I saw that. Like it looked like a Muslim girl was saying, I want to kill Arabs now 100 times more now, or 1,000 times more than now after I saw this movie, American Sniper. And I'm not taking away from Navy SEALs or what they do, the soldiers. I commend them for their service and what they do. It's amazing, but it's immoral. I mean, the war is immoral. We were never attacked. It was never provoked. And so for us just to do
engineered.
This, So regardless of how you feel about it, that is the fact. We were not attacked. The war is illegitimate. So let's bring our troops home. Stop the killing. We're bankrupt, folks. We cannot
18 trillion plus in debt, public debt.
Yeah, can we afford for more snipers to go around the world shooting people that might be defending themselves in a country we invaded? No, we don't have the money. And we heard it on the first hour by Joe Biggs, an Iraq veteran, a decorated war veteran, explaining what is going on and how we need to wake up and we need to expose this system. Our veterans aren't getting treatment. That's not just because Obama, folks. That's been going on. Sam, about your father. I mean, he's never gotten the treatment he needs.
Never.
And he's a Vietnam veteran. Why did we see him on the streets? It's government-run healthcare. We need to be against any socialist system. This is by the way, Social Security for all our listeners. Social Security. The government keeps keeps your private bank account. That's a socialist idea. Why aren't we?
Roosevelt sold us the New Deal to save us from the Great Depression, even though it was engineered by the Federal Reserve.
To bring in the government's going to save money for you. We're loving government. We're going to make sure.
It's the New Deal. Understand that. I mean, if you take it for what it is, they told you it's the New Deal.
Yeah, it's the New Deal. The New Deal to end free market.
Yeah.
And America. So we've been under a socialist. We've been slowly decaying under socialist policies.
Socialism.
And it's coming to a peak point where we need to decide. Are we going to have a free market at all? I mean, what is the next thing the government's going to run? Are they going to run radio stations? They already have the FCC.
Well, they do. It's state-run propaganda because they love to say, RT state-run propaganda. It is. And then what is it? There's a couple other ones, and they love to call them out, our mainstream media here. But they're nothing more than mouthpieces for the Pentagon at this point. They are state-run media, the mainstream media in this country, especially the television.
And the FCC is looking to pass new laws. See, they can't pass laws, but they can pass policy. That's what a bureaucracy does, folks. Congress, we elect them. Yeah, exactly. Congress gives them the authority. They pass a law that says the FCC has the authority under us because, remember, it's government by the people. So our officials are to blame, our congressmen.
Elected representatives.
They pass off the bill to the FCC, and so they get to decide, even though it's all illegal. The FCC the FCC in general is illegal. Having an FCC, it's unbelievable, but
they're well-meaning.
Yeah. So, and it's just an alphabet agency of the bureaucracy, but if we keep allowing this to happen, they could just make if they regulate the internet at this point, that's like the only true freedom we really have. But yet the government wants complete control over it. Are we going to let them have it? They vote on it next month. They're planning to vote. The FCC, not Congress. The FCC is passing policy, but since if the Congress allows it, if they say, oh, well, yeah, we've passed the bill on, we've passed the authority on to the FCC, then no, it's not going to change, and it will become law. It will be enforced. And we need to be very, very aware of what's going on because the internet is our last form of free speech to the rest of the world too.
So we're back to the news. The top priorities for 2015, at least America's on point with the second one. 75% said it was the economy, and it is. I'm not going to go over this whole list. Let's get it back into what's happening with the global bankers, the globalists. Davos, the economic summit in Switzerland, is this week. And a new Oxfam report says half of global wealth held by the 1%. So half of the wealth in the world is held by the 1%, and it's less than 1%. All right. But to give you a little bit of idea, and they've done all this. They've consolidated the wealth through fraud, through their debt-based monetary system, their insider crony capitalist system. None of this is free market. None of this is legit. And so it's all fraud, but yet they want to act like there's some great big shots. And maybe some of them are, but the majority of them are nothing more than fraudsters.
Do we really believe that the richest people in the world, $40,000 a ticket apparently it costs to go to Davos, we're supposed to believe that they're there to discuss how they can help the rest of the population?
They are there for global inequity is what they say publicly, is to set things straight to make everybody have a level playing field. Well, that means everybody in squalor and poverty, like similar to the Hunger Games film, if you're familiar with that novel, Agenda 21 style living for you. And they can all fly around in their private jets and go to the stars and live in a whole separate civilization than the rest of us poor slaves.
Think about how backward that is. Government working with corporations creates crony capitalism, fascist system, which is what we're living under. They go and have a private meeting with other systems just like them, and then one person or whatever from Oxfam, I believe, gets to go in there and say, "Oh well, we need to require minimum wage, free healthcare, free education." But how about we just allow the free market to work, and then they would have all those things at a very cheap price. But no, the government, they want those systems in there because they're exempt from all those. Government working with corporations. It's never just one or the other, folks. They're working together. They've found that that's what works. And they can also keep people divided. They can manipulate them and manage them better. And that's just how it works. The elites sit on top and then say, oh, we really do care about the poor. Let's bring in a socialist style organization, invite them to our private elite meeting, and maybe that person that went is going to get wined and dined and say, yes, push this socialist view. We need to raise the minimum wage. How about allow the free market to decide what the wage is instead of command and control by the people that are manipulating us? We're asking... It's like going to...
Ask your master.
Yeah, ask your master, hey, can you, even though you've screwed us with all these laws...
Can you tighten the chain around my neck a little bit tighter?
Yeah, require more regulation. Since we don't have enough already, let's regulate more as if that will help anything. Think about it. You have to pay the government to work, but if you don't work, you get paid.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. It's backward. It's doublespeak.
It's Orwellian. And so you see this Oxfam, they're calling for investment in universal free public services such as health and education.
Yep.
And you go down the list of all their all the things they're calling for.
Yeah.
Their platform that they're calling
plan.
for. Yeah. And it's all these socialist ideas, but they never call out, hey, let's end central banking. Let's end private central banking. And that is where they miss the point of the whole economy. Is why do we need these private central bankers and these elitists to go around and tell us how to live when they've created the majority of their wealth through fraud?
Absolutely. Why is that not on the list?
It should be in private central banking.
And printing money out of printing money out of its value, out of its worth. That's why they're going to try to advocate, we need to raise the minimum wage. Let's require that. That's because
nonsense.
That's because the central banks pump money. They print money, new money that they give to whoever. And by the time it gets to the lower labor class, the prices for everything have already gone up. So it's a hidden tax. They steal people's money. So asking for a minimum wage hike, You can do that all day. The central bank's just going to print more money. Okay, and then you have to raise it again. So let's really understand what is going on. Why is the dollar not worth as much anymore? Why are things expensive? It's because there's more money in circulation. That people have to raise their prices in order to make a profit. Remember, it's all about making a profit. No one's going to have a business if they don't make profit, folks. No one's going to work if they don't get money. If you're a worker,
you don't want the government to produce everything.
If you work at McDonald's, oh, well, your paycheck, should we just take it? No, it's a profit. You're making a profit. You're making a living.
No, well, maybe the government should just run everything.
Maybe we should have a flat tax, but make it 100%. 100% flat tax on everyone. Government runs everything.
That's communism.
Yeah. And
when the state owns everything?
Yeah, maybe Hillary Clinton, maybe we should all pitch in our entire life savings, everything we own, and just build a mountain of gold for Hillary Clinton, because that's the kind of people that are trying to run our lives, control everything. They're elites. You think Hillary Clinton has Obamacare? Do you think she can? You think she walks
Congress
into
exempted themselves? All the government exempted themselves.
Oh yeah, but it's still but Republican good, Democrat bad, right? Even though they're exempt from the laws they pass on you, they're authoritarians. Just because they have a nice tan, don't be fooled. I know it's real. I know John Boehner, man. He's a handsome guy, man, with that tan.
He is. He's pretty good looking for a politician.
I guess so. And that's surprising because politics is the Hollywood for ugly people.
Obama's pretty good looking too for a half black, half white man.
Don't mention his race. African American. Okay, you got to say that. That's racist.
But he is half white though, right?
But you can say right. In fact, maybe he's more of a gringo. You know,
he does talk like a white man. I mean,
yeah, he does. So
if you want to get into their speech vernacular,
yeah, all you people in the hood, do you really think this slick talking, slithering salesman's going to help you out when he's in bed with a bunch of narcissistic? Honestly, a lot of them are racist in the political elite.
Hell yeah,
they're racist. They're racist against. They are, and they want to eliminate poor people in general. I mean, it's not even just a racial thing. They hate people that want to have families and produce and just live a life and be left alone. They don't like that. They are control freaks. That's who is running society. Oh, and we're not crazy, by the way. We're not crazy. We're not conspiracy theorists.
Should we just worship Davos because they're the 1%? Should we just bow down and?
They're saying that government and business, administrators are there.
Yeah.
Why is government?
They're the most caring people. I mean, I think maybe the Catholic Church should make them saints.
Maybe. So we have government and business, very high level elites,
like the biggest
meeting.
Criminals in the world is actually what it is. It's
the Bilderberg, Davos, the public Bilderberg, basically.
Yeah, the Davos criminal meeting.
Yeah, to discuss how they're going to make it
screw you over more.
And they said climate change. Even the person that was advocating for poor says, "Oh, we need to solve climate change." Whoever that is, you're a moron.
In there on private jets.
Private jets, exactly, exempting themselves from carbon tax. And by the way, who do you think it's going to hurt the most? Carbon taxes. The labor class, the poorest people. All right, 100 million people, I guess, won't have a job. 200 million people won't have a job.
You pay that carbon tax to the Davos criminal 1%.
That's absolutely right.
It's incredible, Stuart. They talk in this USA Today article about, how great they are, and we need to be thankful that they're meeting for caring about the world. I mean, these people are, it's just the mainstream media covers up for them. I wish they would grow a pair of balls and call them out for the criminals they are.
Maybe we should do an article praising them and paying our respects on weaponizednews.com. Maybe we should just praise the global elitists that are trying to form one world government and eliminate the free market. Remember, it's elimination, licensing. I mean, they look
consolidation,
everything. Yeah, everything. They want to control everything. And if you think I'm crazy, well, we're not, because it's happening. It's happening. No more complaining. They'll let you watch football because, that's not political.
Bread and circus.
Bread and circus. There we go. Just like 1984. Give them soccer and beer or whatever.
Just like the Roman Empire. We're at the precipice of a collapse in this country.
No innovation. People don't think for themselves. And it's going to start really. It is hitting us very hard. I mean, every day is a struggle at this point. But it's better to be awake and accept it and start, making that change, because we're at a peak point where you cannot be indifferent anymore. You're either pro letting the government be out of control, sending our troops off to kill other people, just completely, taking over your children, indoctrinating them. You either be completely cool with all this stuff or you don't, and you need to fight it. You can't be indifferent. Sorry. And stop complaining when you don't have a job. Because
do you want to live in Soviet Russia? Because that's what we're becoming very fast.
No, we got to start war with Russia. Remember, because Vladimir Putin bad, Obama not good, but better than Vladimir Putin. Because we USA go USA. No critical thinking at all.
The communist Soviet system collapsed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, yeah, Russia in general. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. The Soviet system collapsed, but now they want a new Cold War against Russia.
All of socialist Europe is collapsing. I mean,
and the reasons for them wanting us to go into these other countries. But they want us
to have that same system here.
Yeah. Do you guys want that? We're already under it. Do you think, if you think we should invade Russia or be hostile towards Russia because they, protected their assets in Crimea and, supposedly invaded. Okay, that's fine if you want to use that word. Invasion of a sovereign nation. That's what we did to Iraq, and we never declared war. So stop being hypocrites. We're sick of it. It doesn't give us the moral high ground. Start doing your research, and you know what?
Nobody wins in thermonuclear war.
And also, if you feel like challenging us, go onto our Facebook, go to our articles, post. Give us an analysis. Tell us why we're wrong, because we cite our articles, we give you facts, and they're well thought out, and so yeah, debate us on these things.
How is mutually assured destruction, thermonuclear war going to be good for you? Think about that.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back on the second half of our 2-hour broadcast.
Welcome back to the fourth quarter of Weaponized News with your hosts, Stuart Webb and Sam Cheney. And now, it's crunch time.
Crunch time. As always, our last part of the show is crunch time. We try to get through as much news as we can, even though it usually doesn't happen, and we're always rushing because
I feel like I'm on football match of the fourth quarter.
I know there's not enough time to cover all the news, and a lot of it's important. But folks, we're thankful that you're joining us and you're listening to the show. We don't mean to, call people out and alienate, and we're just trying to wake people up because we care. We care about the consciousness of the society. We are immoral. We're decadent. We don't care. We bury our head in the sand. I mean, honestly, we might get invaded. I feel like we are so vulnerable now. The borders are wide open, but either way, we're just not. The only thing that's saving us from that is our right to bear arms.
We're right for a false flag.
Yeah, exactly. So we just want to wake you up to the manipulation and conditioning that we've been under for so long. Look, I know it's tough, but either way, it's a lot more fun. Life is a lot more interesting and fun if you actually think for yourself and think critically and don't just go along with what Bill O'Reilly says or Sean Hannity. Even though sometimes they say some good things, but the thing is they will only say certain ththings in the controlled left-right paradigm. They will never talk about any real issues, central banks, false flag terrorism, Federal Reserve, and the Bilderberg Group, stuff like that, the stuff that we go over. So we appreciate you listening. This is Weaponized News. Please visit our website, weaponizednews.com. We post articles daily, and we're looking to grow. We have a couple of guest writers doing work for us, and we really appreciate them. We appreciate 1680 for having us on the show. I'm sorry, having us on the station. And we appreciate the listeners, even though sometimes we get angry and it feels like we're yelling at you. But we're sick and tired, and we're not going to take it anymore. Okay? And you should be. We know you are. If you're listening to the station, you are probably very fed up with what's going on, and you probably are pretty smart. So wake up to the manipulation. Hey, Sam and I, we are pro-liberty, pro-Bill of Rights, pro-private property. Pro-America, pro-life, liberty, and property. I mean, we are pro all those things. The family. So we are conservatives. But we don't like to be stuck in that establishment platform or whatever. By the way, we're going to put up an article soon on Weaponized News about how the Republican platform is completely different than what the establishment Republicans do. It's like it doesn't even match up. So they are lying fraudsters. And let's be clear, the Democrats are way worse, and they are communist, okay? Basically communist. We've admitted that. That's why we don't go over, and honestly, that's not our listener base. The average Democrat voter doesn't listen to talk radio. They just want free stuff. That's why they're slaves.
They want the
Anyway.
UN to save them. Into the news now. 9/11 Fund okays payments of $804 million to 3,000 claimants. And so we finally see the first responders getting some money for their health care. And so that's a very good news that's coming out of
Declassify the 28 pages.
and give them some justice.
Yeah.
But at least they're getting some money for their health care and the damages that they this is the Health and Compensation Act of 2010. And so that's good news for the first responders. And that's what we report as being part of We Are Change, is support the first responders for 9/11, because we actually care about our troops and actually care about the firemen and policemen. And this is just not mindless propaganda to prop up all the bad things they do. We know that they are public servants and they do a lot of good work. Wow, Stuart, which article do you want to go over next?
Let's go over that list. We might as well start it. And let's go to MLK.
Oh, wow. That's big news. Very underreported. Yeah. Okay, this last week was Martin Luther King Day, a federal holiday. A court decision in U.S. government agencies found guilty in Martin Luther King's assassination. And this was a civil case that was ruled by a jury on December 9th of 1999. The mainstream media wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. Okay, this is an old story, but it needs to be exposed to the public that, yes, on record in a civil case ruled on by a jury, the federal government agencies within the federal government were found guilty civilly of assassinating Martin Luther King.
Did you hear that, folks? Government was involved in the assassination of Martin Luther King. 30 years later, finally it comes out. Finally. All these assassinations and false flag operations, they're ran by criminal elements of the government. How can the CIA be the best thing for America? That's what I've heard. Oh, it's the best thing that ever happened to America. If we don't know what the heck that they're doing, what the hell are they doing? There's no reporting. All they do is if Congress wants some information, they might give it to them. Okay, so. It's a criminal element.
They have a new show, The Americans, and that's a good propaganda spy show that they write the script for.
Yeah. Oh, it's the one with the Russian, right? To demonize Russia.
They have good television shows that are all scripted by the CIA.
Yeah, of course.
It's called Operation Mockingbird Media. I mean, we pay them to lie to us and feed us a steady diet of lies.
Yeah.
Who could say that's good?
Yeah. And the reason that they killed Martin Luther King is because he was going to run for political office. He was looking to run for potentially president. And he criticized both parties, Republican and Democrat. And you can't have that because with his voice, he could actually wake the black community up.
I think he was actually a better speaker than Obama. Obama's a pretty good orator.
Yeah. But MLK was actually a real guy and, had real views and real opinions. He actually did real work, and he's a moral man, at least in some cases. I mean, he literally, for civil justice, civil rights, he did so much more than the government could ever do, really, though. I mean, we have a holiday named after him. And by the way, the general public we've seen didn't even know that he was dead, apparently. The streets of San Diego.
They definitely don't know that the federal government was found civilly guilty of assassinating him.
Because no mainstream news agency covers it. Because it doesn't fit. Remember, Fox News, no matter how much they want to complain about the government.
Lone wolf assassin. That's the same garbage. Yeah. Who believes this garbage?
Yeah. Because they have to
James
be able.
Earl Ray.
Yeah, they have to be able to put each and every one of us into a box and call us a threat. Because we could assassinate the president. It's like it's unbelievable.
Back to the extremism. You want to go over that?
Yeah, no, let's go over that. This is
extremism we've reported on before, but I mean, this is your government calling you an extremist if you're if you talk about individual liberties. I mean, there's a list of 72 of them. Stuart, which ones do you want to talk about?
Well, let's look at the very first one. Those that talk about individual liberties.
Yeah.
Wow. So right there off the bat,
if you don't want to be a slave, then you're an extremist.
Yeah. If you just talk about the Constitution, if you utter the word, or if you say liberty, or I'm a libertarian. Oh, extremist. Maybe that's why they can't have a libertarian party, because it'd be too extreme. Because just liberty, the word in general, is just so extreme.
If you don't say government's the God of all, creator of all things, then I guess you're extreme.
Yeah, and Fox News would never cover this either, really, because remember, Fox News, no matter how much they complain about government, they will always advocate for the authority that the government exercises, regardless. We could be going to war completely unconstitutionally with Obama in front, leading the charge, and they would definitely say, well, this is the only thing I agree with. And then your conservative base says, oh, well, this is one thing I agree with on Obama because they can't even answer the question. We're going to a war unconstitutionally. They haven't attacked us, this country. But no, the mindless ones that are in the left-right paradigm will just support Obama because their political platform, they believe, is to support war no matter what. USA, as long as we're on the winning team. But, those people can continue to watch the Super Bowl. By the way, I boycotted the Super Bowl. Everyone should do it. And last year it was a terrible game anyway, I heard. So, why even care about it? There's so many more important things. Number 2, those that advocate for states' rights.
Ooh, I think Marcus Ruiz Evans is an extremist according to this list.
We might have to tell Marcus he's one of us now. He's radical.
Yeah.
Radical Marcus. He advocates for states' rights.
Somebody else got the radical title.
Number 3, those that want to make the world a better place. Wow. So that's
would
extreme.
Be me.
Yeah. So I get Woody. Is that you, Woody?
Extremist.
Woody, extremist. Man.
Yeah.
How
extreme can you get?
That's pretty extreme. Making the
extreme
world
talk boxing, maybe.
You're an extreme. Woody is an extremist talk boxer, and you can't be extreme, Woody. You can't love it so much. It's just illegal. I'm sorry. We don't have individual rights in this country anymore. The colonists who sought to free themselves from British rule. Wow. I guess they were extremists, and I guess they were the first terrorists. That's what FEMA and all these Homeland Security.
That's how Southern Poverty Law Center trains law enforcement. That the founding fathers of this country are terrorists.
Yeah, you see video. The first terrorist of the United States was George Washington. Apparently, the Homeland Security claims. So that's the kind of tyranny we're living under. Number 5. Those that are interested in defeating the communists. And it just goes on and on. So, because that's too extreme. We can't be against communism. That's just too extreme. We can't be for free market systems.
The government's God.
And against government-run healthcare. This list goes on. Do you see any other ones? Anti-gay, anti-immigrant, anti-Muslim, the Patriot movement.
So with all the propaganda, they make everybody anti-Muslim, and then they're going to turn around and call you extremist for being anti-Muslim when you bought all the propaganda that they're selling to make you anti-Muslim. Do you see the mind control?
Literally.
Literal mind control right there.
Literally, it's hate speech if we talk about Muslims, but yet Obama still says, well, you better advocate for killing them.
Yeah.
Drone bombing them. Yeah. Correct, Sam? You're right. That is the mind control. What else we got? Those that believe that the interests of one's own nation are separate from the interests of other nations or the common interest of all nations. That's an extremist viewpoint, I guess.
That's against one world government. That is extreme.
That's true.
Even though you're a crazy conspiracy theorist if you think they're forming a one world government.
Yeah, it is global warming is a global issue, and we need to talk about it globally, with the UN. But no, there's no plan for a global government. No. Well, then why are we talking about global issues globally?
Doesn't matter. Yeah. You're crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone that holds a political ideology that considers the state to be unnecessary, harmful, or undesirable. So, millions of people and myself. We are just, I guess, extreme extremists. We're extreme extremists.
General right-wing extremists.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Members of the Family Research Council. That's, I guess, an extremist as well. And these are all linked, folks, to articles, to sources, to evidence. Government documents saying this stuff. So
believe in conspiracy theories? Wow.
Oh,
so we just went over how it was found by a civil court that there was a conspiracy by the federal government to kill Martin Luther King.
Yeah. And it was admitted, proven.
Yeah, on record. So if you go and read the court document, you're an extremist.
And you're extremist, yeah, because that, even though a government court, actually, it was proven. It was proven in the court. I guess they're extremist. Just for even thinking, just for even having the trial and hearing the case. Unbelievable. I mean, man, even the government is too extreme.
They are.
The government should arrest themselves, arrest the courts.
If you're anti-abortion, anti-Catholic, anti-nuclear.
Opposed to the New World Order, anyone that is engaged in conspiracy theorizing, anyone that is opposed to Agenda 21. Oh, but Agenda 21 isn't happening.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, but if you're opposed to it, you are an extremist.
Returning veterans, that's the number one. One is 49 on this list, but that's the number one threat to our country, according to the Justice Department, is returning veterans.
Folks, just search that, Google it. We won't go over the rest. 72, a list of 72 reasons why you could be labeled an extremist.
An evangelical Christian is number 72 on the list.
Oh, it's number 72.
Yep.
Folks, I believe that's some of our audience.
If you worship God and your creator rather than government, you're an extremist.
Yeah. And remember, folks, we are not left or right. We are pro-freedom, pro-liberty. And when we talk about left-right, that's the establishment's version of what they think. Anyone who thinks anything outside of those two things. I mean, I guess you just can't believe in anything other than what the Democrat Party says or the Republican Party. You can't have viewpoints outside of those two things. Their platform.
It hurts to think that much.
Yeah, that's true, and we don't want to be doing that because then we might actually get out of this mess.
I mean,
it is extreme. We need to just calm down.
Take your fluoride.
Take your pills that the doctor gave you. Don't think critically. False flags. That's a conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theorists. They're mass murdering killers. But listen to us because we're friendly and liberal. By the way, you don't. We need to tax you to breathe. It's good for the earth. Pay me money because it's good for the earth.
And they've always been terraforming the planet. I mean,
yeah. I mean, just and so Sam. I mean, do it with me. It feels so good.
It is. It's very soothing.
It's very soothing.
It's called neuro-linguistic programming. It's mind control.
That's the word. Mind control is not a conspiracy theory. What do you think people? What do you think the stuff that they do in the CIA? What do you think the government?
The social engineers is what. Humans are the most studied species on the planet, and so they figured out a long time ago how to control us. And this whole system is mind control.
I mean, I work for a marketing company. It's simple marketing, and I mean, if anyone knows anything about marketing, I mean,
the Godfather right here, Edward Bernays, propaganda. Read the book.
Marketing and advertising. I mean, if you make an ad that says you got to have this, or you're, or you're not cool,
you're a loser chump if you don't have it.
Well, then your average person's going to be like, oh, well, it's everywhere. Everyone's saying this. People are sharing it.
It's popular, trendy,
people buy
hip and
it.
Cool.
I must do that. Yeah, yeah. It's so easy to social engineer. It's unbelievable.
And just be aware that this is happening. Bad people are in control. Evil technocrat scientific dictators are running things from on high, and they're worshiping dark occultic forces. Wake up to this fact, people. God-fearing people, wake up to this fact. Okay, going to church every Sunday and praying to God ain't going to cut it anymore.
Action.
All right?
You need action.
You need action. You need to get in these Satan worshipers' face, and that's why we're doing this show, to wake you up to reality. Satan is not just in the book of the Bible, okay? There are evil forces working against you and your family in this world. Stuart, moving on to new police radars can see inside homes.
Wow. Is this on the spying list of news?
At least 50
what if I was naked, man?
At least 50 U.S. law enforcement agencies quietly deployed radars that let them effectively see inside your home with little notice to courts or the public.
Boo!
And so who's the real
That's invasion
here?
of privacy, man. That's not cool.
Who's the real criminal? The guys using this to spy on you illegally with no warrant, or the supposed criminals who they say they're spying on?
Mm-hmm. Sam, you can't talk bad about cops. You can't. That's anti-cop. Remember, to be a conservative,
you
have to.
The FBI and the U.S. Marshal Service are the ones using them right now, supposedly, according to this article out of USA Today.
To be a real patriot.
Well, then I guess we're extremists, right?
We are, I guess. if you disagree with the left-wing government,
they're doing this with no warrant.
Yeah, no warrant. It's just like gathering data. The NSA gathering data with no warrant, listening to our phone calls, storing the data. They can store 100% of a country's phone calls. 100%. For like a month. It's ridiculous.
It's the Ranger R radar system, and it can see through your walls from 50 feet away.
Yeah. and folks, you're paying for that, even though the system's collapsed. That's why they have all these systems in place, because even if you don't want to pay for it,
the guys doing this are criminals. They're violating your Fourth Amendment.
Yeah.
That's a crime right there.
So what do we do now? Just go live in a safe or what?
I guess so. You got to have lead walls or something.
Yeah. And the cops that are involved in this,
they are criminals.
Yeah.
I'm calling you out. You're a criminal if you're doing this to anybody without a warrant. Get a warrant.
Just know everything that you do to people, cops, and believe me, we're pro-constitutional cops, people that actually think, and pro-constitutional sheriffs. But cops, anything and everything that you do, you force on people, will be pushed back on you. Oh. Because when they bring in the militarized police state and they bring in UN troops, the military, cops, you're just going to be there. You may not even be allowed to have weapons. I mean, they've disarmed. In France, I don't think cops hardly are allowed to have weapons even. And so this is what you're going to live.
Europe police have weapons.
So you're going to live under this system if you continue to consent to do it to other people and to enjoy it and encourage it. Not standing up and quitting. Quit the job. Quit your job if you're being asked to do something.
Or say, hey, maybe we should get a warrant.
There you go. At least get a warrant. Okay, we're not saying don't investigate crimes.
Cite the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah, get a warrant. And then if there's reasonable cause, and you can state the actual spot, the item you're searching
for.
You can't just say I need to search this guy's home. You specifically say what you're looking for, and then yes, that would be justification for a warrant. But not just saying, oh, we're just going to go spy on people, see if they're growing marijuana, and we can bust them. Oh, yeah, big drug bust. And maybe we'll keep some marijuana for ourselves, smoke it, maybe sell it on the side. We're cops.
They can make up whatever story they want about anything at this point. I mean, so who's the real criminal? The guy spying on you with no warrant? And then that brings me to this story, Stuart. DEA began warrantless surveillance in the 1990s in this country with no warrant. I mean, again, so who's the real criminal in the war on drugs? The DEA spying on people's phone calls with no warrant, or the supposed drug traffickers who we know the majority of drugs are brought into this country by our own government?
The DEA actually first of all, drugs, it's an inanimate object. There's no reason for it to be
Stuart,
illegal.
This is out of the Wall Street Journal now, okay? So get right with... Stuart, it blows my freaking mind. They've been spying on us forever. The Wall Street Journal's reporting on it, and it's all. So who's the real criminals?
The government, the DA, folks. What was it? The 18th Amendment. I'm not sure. When they banned alcohol, they had to pass an amendment, okay, to ban the substance, and then to reinstate it to make it legal again, they had to pass another amendment to the Constitution. Why are these also all these Controlled Substances Act? That's illegal to just ban substances. It's illegal. You can't just ban inanimate objects. You can't do it. But they're doing it, and it's the justification for spying on people. Oh, they might be selling drugs. Well, in America, you can sell objects.
Anybody could be doing anything.
Exactly. So do we just
made up phony baloney? They could walk in here, drop a bag of whatever drugs on the floor, and throw us in prison for life. I mean, it's utterly ridiculous fraud.
Baking soda, selling Coca-Cola out of a car.
They can make up whatever lies.
Coke, right?
We know that the police are trained liars. Okay, so it goes on in the story to say the statement that warrantless surveillance of Americans' phone call data began in the early 1990s.
So this has been going on for decades.
9/11,
yeah.
Before the war on terror. And
it was the war on drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the war on drugs. So it doesn't matter.
Carte blanche, they could just go do whatever criminal activities they want. But if you're just a regular citizen, you're bad.
And if you're not okay with them spying on you illegally without a warrant,
you're bad.
And against the war on drugs, then you are a bad person. Yeah. And you're an extremist.
The DA's Special Operations Division.
But it's all to keep you safe. We have to pay for them spying on everyone.
They did have that television show, Miami Vice.
That's
true. I guess that made it okay.
And, people like to be part of the power structure.
Even though it was on record that the government shipped in the majority of the cocaine.
Exactly. I mean, look,
that's fine,
look,
too.
all I know is that
record
Sam and
high opium production in Afghanistan, but that's fine, with U.S. troops guarding it.
Yeah, Sam and I would like to proposition everyone to, if you're going to be pro-war on drugs, let's ban alcohol. Any substance that could potentially damage you, let's ban it all. Okay.
GMOs?
GMOs.
Fluoride in the water?
Bleach. I mean, what if you accidentally drank some? hydrogen peroxide. I mean, let's just ban all those because it could potentially damage you, just like alcohol. So let's ban anyone who's against drugs being legal. You better be for alcohol being illegal.
But the
folks.
man in the white coat can give you pharmaceutical drugs that.
Oh no, but those are okay. Sam, no, that's extreme.
The FDA said it was okay.
Yes, and we don't criticize the FDA. And we don't criticize the medical establishment, the doctors, American Medical Association. We don't criticize them because they are God. And taking pills that make you happy artificially aren't bad for you because they said so. They said they're healthy for you.
That is true.
If you have cancer, you got issues, you came back from the war and are hurt, like Joe Big says, here's some pills. We can't really get you in for an appointment because, you're on our death list. And here's some pills.
Remember the story reported on last week, the overprescription of opiates to veterans at the VA?
Yeah, it was like 25,000 vets were or 25,000 prescriptions of opiates. To veterans,
That's
which was previously
acceptable.
2,000. A decade previous was only 2,000, and so that's the world we're living in, where it's okay to get drugged by doctors, but if you get caught with a marijuana cigarette in certain states, you'll be thrown in jail. But you know what? If you're part of the power structure, look, if you're a cop, you're part of the power structure, so you have to be for it, and plus you kind of like it. People say, "Oh, hello, officer." Well, you know what? I don't say hello, officer, unless you say hello to me. Just like a normal person, and you're not trying to throw me in jail for looking at you wrong, then I'll say hello. But as far as I'm concerned, cops have a license to kill, and I steer very clear of them. I steer clear.
For all government,
Me
be an
too.
oath keeper. Stand up for the oath you took to the Constitution. Stuart, in the last couple minutes of the show, let's go over designer babies. This is an article out of BBC. And they're talking about, scientists are saying we need to start a debate about designer babies now. Human cloning, it's going mainstream. And this isn't out of H.G. Wells' sci-fi. This is reality.
The movie Gattaca advocated this. It was made in 1997, and they were taught. Basically the movie was about genetically engineered babies.
That's predictive programming to get you to accept it.
Absolutely. So we know. And look at Minority Report. Look how much stuff happened in that movie that is now coming true today. We thought it couldn't happen. It's 12 years later, 13 years later from when the movie came out, and it's happening. It's already happened.
These designer babies are genetically modified for beauty, intelligence, and or to be free of disease.
When you start playing God, things get very, very. Very iffy,
You're
questionable.
anti-science, I think.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. You can. And if the government's advocating for it,
Government scientists say it's the greatest thing ever since Edward Bernays brought us bacon.
Even though, but governments, I thought they killed over 260 million people.
Democide, that doesn't matter.
But governments love us. In fact, they put. You know what? They put those 260 million people out of their misery, right, Sam?
It's a woman's right to choose.
You're right. Women, it's your right to choose.
Who cares if it's eugenics on record?
It's your right to kill your baby. Just if you say it like that, it's not so fun anymore. But folks, thanks for listening. I know we're a little crazy sometimes, but we're just trying to wake you up. Thanks for listening. This is Weaponized News. Visit weaponizednews.com. And we appreciate your support. We'll see you next week. Signing off.